Welcome back to this final hour of Hereticus session 23. And the heroes, or the acolytes, the inquisitorial agents have returned to Bastion 4, which has served as their base of operations in their time on the Piety of Seth, and they are hailed as heroes as they return, and Lord General Legalis is there to greet them. So the thing about Lord General Legalis is, and I've posted an image of Lord General Hobart Legalis.
Powdered, bewigged, tough-looking fellow.
Yes.
Maybe
Either
so, but he's
Legless or he's Legoless, and then we have to actually shoot him because then he's an elf.
Yes.
well. Maybe he's he might be a bit of a tough, but he's certainly a capable man.
Yes.
Yes.
Very.
And
Wow,
it's
he's colorful.
it's also worth mentioning that that is his dress uniform. He's the uniform he has now is similar, but it's worn. It's seen combat.
That's good.
And just for the hell of it, these are the men you've been fighting alongside.
I remember you showed us that image at some point.
They're also very, very colorful.
Yes.
Yeah, but they are also meant. I mean, that's the thing about these guys is that they were supposed to be, like parade soldiers.
Yes.
Who had never really been tested in combat, and everybody thought, they're just going to turn tail and run because they've never actually fought. Blah, 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 blah. They're just spoiled rich kids. And then we get here, and they're actually fighting like demons.
Yes, indeed. So you return to Bastion 4. And like I said, the Lord General is standing there. He's missing one of his arms, but other than that, he looks in fine spirits.
We all standing before him, or?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hello.
I think Francesco will give him a salute, and in this case that means presenting arms, across her chest with the bolter.
He returns the salute in typical guardsman fashion.
Yeah, slamming
Medea
her
looks
heels
at this.
together.
Medea looks at Francesco. What are you doing? Look.
Lord
Just
General,
whatever's appropriate.
we are reporting back in after having successfully eliminated the threats of the Chaos Beast that we were sent to destroy. I wish to commend Medea for having the foresight to destroy one of its weak points, which collapsed the entire creature. I wish to commend Achelon for his timely and extremely accurate use of the radio in calling in supporting artillery fire. And I wish to commend Technecos Prudentia for enabling repairs of our vehicle, which severe damage landing, thereby enabling us to escape the city center and the spaceport.
He nods, and he does that whenever you mention one of the other agents, and he then says, "And what about you, Sister Francesca?"
I merely did my duty, sir.
Nevertheless, your duty saved the lives of thousands of guardsmen who would otherwise have died on the field of battle, and while that is their finest purpose, this means that they get to fight another day on another battlefield somewhere in the name of the Emperor. So while I acknowledge your commendation of your fellow agents, I do believe commendations are in order for you as well.
And I thank you.
Medea just nods.
I shall make a note of this as I write up my reports of this campaign. And I'm fairly certain that this is not the last time you've dealt with the Imperial Guard. He says with a smile, indicating something that he knows that you might not know.
It would be our honor, sir. Until Fusiliers have fought extremely bravely and
I am quite proud of my men. They've done well. Anyway, I shall leave you to it. I see you've seen better days. Emperor protects.
The Emperor protects. The Emperor protects.
And then he makes a 180 and starts walking away alongside his entourage of.
He's the kind of man who can. He's the kind of man who can march away one armed and still look dignified doing
it. Indeed, exactly.
He is a hard-nosed man. I like him. I really, he's the kind of commander every guardsman deserves.
Yes, I mean hard-nosed and at the same time powdered-nosed.
Yes, and also
powdered his hard nose.
And also compassionate enough to not just throw the lives of his men away.
Indeed.
He sounds to me like he sounds like someone I know.
So, what then?
As they turn around and start walking, Medea walks up beside Prue. Hey, Prue.
Yes?
What's a commendation?
That would be remarking on something you did well.
Oh, okay.
Why
Just
do you
making
ask?
sure. I didn't know what it meant.
Have you not been commended before?
I might have, but it's hard to know when you're being commended when you don't know what commended means.
So this is the first encounter with the word you've had?
Yeah. Do you still feel pain?
Yes.
Huh.
Why do you ask?
I was just pondering.
Pain is a useful signal to let you know when you've been hurt.
Uh-huh. She's just walking around with untreated wounds everywhere without squinting.
You appear to be quite harmed.
I'm
Would
fine.
you like my assistance in patching you up?
You can do that.
The weird tentacle thing sticking out of her shoulder moves closer as she says yes.
Medea starts, tilting sideways a little, like, what the fuck? And what will that do?
Well, if I inject you, I would apply stim.
I don't need that. I'm not in pain.
You're not in pain?
No.
You should be.
No.
But you're hurt and wounded.
I know.
This is something we might discuss somewhere a little more private, please.
Very well. I shall look forward to it.
Let us get to our quarters and then get you all patched up. She says and looks a little ashamed of herself for not actually being wounded.
If Acheron catches this...
Yes.
Isn't that hard when she's wearing a helmet?
Is she wearing a helmet?
Yes, she's wearing her helmet.
In that case,
I think she takes it off now that we're back in camp.
Okay.
It would also have been weird if she kept it on while talking to the big man.
True, yes.
Don't look like that. You've trained for combat most of your life and you're wearing sacred power armor. It's not surprising that you would
True, but I wasn't actually shot at a single time during that final encounter.
The enemies we fought were trained guardsmen. They knew to pick off the weaker targets first. They were expecting their reinforcements to be able to help them deal with you. Do not feel ashamed for what happened.
Thank you.
Also, that was a really good handling of that big gun you got.
It was most
the Emperor
efficient.
was with me.
What are they called again? I want one.
Multi-melters.
Ooh.
The Emperor surely does protect, but a really big gun doesn't help. Doesn't harm either.
It comes in handy.
No,
And
the Emperor protects us, and we make sure the hereticus idiots don't keep walking.
true, it protects us, and we hurt them. The it should also be said, Medea, that you might want one of, she says, and pats her multi-melter, but it requires quite a bit of training to use it. However, I do think, considering your combat style, you might be quite happy with a pair of infernal pistols when you learn how to use those. That's a pistol-sized version of.
Woo! Medea claps. As if she's been offered new toys.
That actually gets the rarest of reactions out of Francesca, and she actually laughs at that reaction.
Can I try holding yours?
I
Promise
would
I won't
advise
fire
against it. You are currently in risk of harming your arm further.
Yes, let's
Oh.
wait let's at least wait until your arm is
Also-
properly fixed. And the same for Achelon. My goodness, you will need cybernetic replacement.
At this point, quite frankly, the nerves in my arm are so dead that I can't really feel anything anymore.
Nonetheless, you will need to have that arm taken off and replaced by a replacement by bionic.
Well, let's just hope that it's a decent one.
I'm
Do
pretty
not
sure
worry.
that you have earned one today.
Do not worry, Achelon. It will be a blessing.
I suppose it will, yes.
After Tim got his, he did say they felt good. That's the best praise I've ever heard out of Tim.
Well,
That's true, but
Tim did have a history with the Mechanicus, but
Mhm.
I shan't doubt his assessment.
I am certain that you will find the new limb to be fully as functional as the one you're losing, because there is no way to save that arm. I'm not a sister. I'm not a sister medici, but I can tell. I've seen battle wounds. That arm is never going to function.
I agree in your assessment.
It's a shame. It was my primary arm.
I'm sure that your new arm will be your primary arm as well.
Yes, I mean, fine writing with it will probably take some time. But
I suppose, in strictly speaking, we should let you get to work on that Megas Prudentia rather than because I do suppose that the arm could start to fester.
We can amputate.
That's my point. And then
Medea is, by the way, currently walking with a spring in her step. She has new toys in her future.
yes.
And don't
Humming
worry
heavily.
about handwriting, Achelon. Most proper bionic arms are superior to biological arms when it comes to fine manipulation.
Yes, I'm sure.
nonetheless, you're quite attached to that arm.
Attached? It
Was-
looks
was
like
it-
it's mostly detached.
Was
Oh,
that
Was that a joke?
Was that a joke, Francesca?
Francesca just corks the tiniest of smiles and leaves the room so that somebody can have his arm taken off.
Yes.
Medea makes a look. She was joking!
So, question, as we fade to black on that specific thing,
Yes.
Prue, do you want to do the honors with regards to Medicaid tests, or do you let someone else take care of that?
Well, I have. Well, it's a 50-50 chance, right?
So, what would happen then is that this would basically be well. First of all, you can perform a first aid test on every wound they've acquired. Not every point of wound, but every wound that
Individual wound.
yes, that wounded them. to remove some or to get back some wounds. That's an option. Furthermore, you can also, once that's done, you can enter into extended care, which is basically you caring for them over a period of time.
I'm going to need to put more skills into my Medicae.
If I may make a suggestion here,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's mostly for whether Rasmus thinks I won't make a suggestion if you don't want me to.
I would like to hear it.
I would suggest in that case that what you do is you do first aid. Because there's no risk involved in the first aid thing.
Actually,
So
there is a risk in it.
Okay. I didn't think there was, but okay. In any case, I would suggest that you do that. But that you leave the actual removal of the arm, because we should not stay here very long. We should, in fact, be on our way back to I mean, we've located these geometric thingamabobs.
Right, we need to get it.
And then we need to get back to Scintilla as quickly as possible.
Out of character, that big monstrosity had 2 oblongs in it, yes?
Yes. And
Medea shot one.
yes, and Sister Francesca took the other.
Oh,
Yes.
right. I don't recall that, but I'll take your word for it.
I've got it in one of my blessed ultra casings as usual.
Yes.
Yes.
Medea didn't want to turn over the other we found in the little
Yes.
city thingy.
That one I do remember.
Yes. That one I did get as well eventually.
So we have 2. I don't know if there's more on this planet.
It was blessed
There was
Bosses.
probably the 3. There's a good chance of that, but we will need to communicate with the tricorn. We need an astropathic choir for that, Heine, but that's something they have on the ships, obviously.
Yes, there would be an astropathic choir somewhere. Up
Yeah.
there.
Up there,
In
so that's
orbit.
where and that's where we need to go anyway for the replacement of his arm. But the point
Yes.
being that they are dedicated Medicae servitors and Medicae personnel who are, basically trained to do nothing but that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would suggest we let them take care of the, taking his arm off and replacing it.
All right.
Mm.
Good idea.
I mean, I have a 40 in my Medicae, and then with my Mechadendrite, it gets up to a 50. So that's a 50-50. But if you can actually do harm with this, I don't want to.
So the rules regarding first aid is that if you fail by 3 degrees or more, the patient takes a point of damage. However, if a patient is at 0 wounds, which is the case for both Medea and
Accolon is at 1.
he's at 1, but Medea is as far as I remember,
Yeah, she's
still at
nothing.
0.
She's at 0.
She would die if that, or she would have to make a fortitude or toughness test or die.
She's
Yeah,
at -3.
Indeed. So, but
So
that
let's
that
have
is
the professionals do it, so I don't accidentally kill Medea.
right. Effectively, she's at 0 wounds and has some critical damage as well. Okay, cool. It is still possible for it to go wrong up there in orbits, but because they probably don't have individually have that much more in Medicae than you do, but they do have the facilities to perform.
Can I assist them when we get to the facilities then?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Cool. We'll do that.
Okay, cool. So basically, your idea is to get Accolon as quickly as possible up into orbit, and that is now possible because you've basically you now have the spaceport. So that's certainly possible.
Go us.
So, well, it was possible before as well, because after all, you did land on the planet. But it's much more easy now that you have the spaceport. Do the rest of you want to go up there with Accolon, or do you stay at?
Yes, I will at least, because we need the astropathic choir.
You need the astropathic choir, which is somewhere up in orbit in one of the cruisers up there.
And I'm
Cool.
going to assist. the Medicae, so.
Okay. And Medea, do you also go with the others?
She's gone to the toilet.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
let's assume that she does, and she can correct me when she gets back.
Yeah.
So, Chris, my good man,
Yes,
you've lost an arm.
I did.
Run, run!
Ah!
So you need a new one.
I mean, if you're offering.
I am. Again, there are quite a few ships up in orbit. Some of them with the proper facilities to handle this. So, what do we need to do? Okay,
If I remember correctly, there was something that needed to be rolled.
indeed.
Can I influence in getting him good stuff?
I mean, Prudentia might at least be able to take a look at the available limbs and make a judgment on which one is, superior and which one isn't.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing the peer anywhere.
I have Pia Adeptus Arbitus,
Do you?
but not.
Well,
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you'd have to have with Adeptus Mechanicus.
Why don't I have that? Shouldn't I start with that?
Not necessarily.
But I'm gonna start with that.
Well, so here's the thing. When it was Tim, we rolled a. Basically, I think we rolled a 50-50 to see if the equipment was of good craftsmanship, if I remember correctly. I think we'll do the same, except now that you have the aid of Prue, and this is going to take a while as you go through the ships up there to see if they have anything that you can use. And going through those ships is a massive endeavor because they are each of them are cities in their own right.
Cruise page.
So it's going to take a while, but then. Sister Jessica is also going to have to talk to the astropathic, or through the astropathic choir, and that also takes a while, because she's not the only one. Okay, so what I need to do is roll a percentile, and if it is 75 or below, you find a bionic arm of good craftsmanship. Okay.
I have a very, very horrible thought.
What's that?
They find Tim's old one.
No.
Oh, that's certainly an option.
Yes, let that be true.
But yeah, so
It was of good quality. I mean, there's no reason it should go to waste.
well
No,
that's
but
that,
the design you drew for it was as bulky as hell.
well
That's what I was told it looked like.
yes. This is,
They are bulky. It's Imperial bionics. They're not, sleek.
No, I suppose. I'm thinking of the kind of thing, what was his name? Colonel Iron Hand Straken.
He's also a major hero of the Imperium.
That's true, and his has got defined muscle on it, which is just not going to happen. So, yeah.
On the upside, you might be able to get it upgraded later.
Yeah, maybe.
so
to
if-
get it, prettier looking and stuff.
You can get it improved little by little.
That would be nice.
So, okay, so if that's what you want to do, you can absolutely do that and disregard the roll I made. And you say that you recycle Tim's.
No, I'm quite happy to go for a new one.
Okay, cool. Well, I did roll, so you do get a new good quality bionic arm. And this is going to take a while, of course. What's your toughness bonus?
+3.
+3. Okay. Then it takes a total of 8 days.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
For
But
that
that's
to be
probably
installed.
about the time it's going to take to get a message out with the astropathic choir anyway.
Yes, because like I said, there are plenty of people who want to get in touch with the wider Imperium. So
Does it take 8 days to attach it?
yes, it does. It's a very complicated procedure.
Of course, they have to line up all the nervous systems and stuff.
Exactly.
Yes, and there is also the very real risk of shock that they need to. So they need to be delicate about it. So.
What about Medea?
Medea and so here's the thing. At this point, you've basically done what there is to do on the piety of Seth. So it's just a matter of you guys getting healed back up, and that can happen during the journey back to Scintilla. And we won't need to roll for that because it takes a while to get back to Scintilla.
So it was a whole year to get here.
Yeah, exactly. It might not take that long to get back. That depends.
Storm or the warp storm is gone, or
yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, if there's anything else you'd like to do on the planets, the piety of Seth, we can absolutely do that. But you get the sense that there's not really that much more for you to do there. You've crushed the heresy. You were that was your secondary objective, and you've also found 3 of these geometric shapes. Well, you've destroyed one of them, but you'll be going back with 2 of them.
Well, it was easier to make the thing stop attacking.
Indeed. And the warp storm that was raging above one of the regiments is no longer. It's dissipated. So
Yes, killing the chaos amalgamate was quite effective.
So
Medea.
what we'll just say is that you'll eventually heal up as you return to Scintilla. But if there's anything you would like to do here at the Piety of Seth individually, then I'm all for it. If there's someone you need to say goodbye to or whatever.
I think the only one that Francesca would want to say goodbye to in person would be the general. Thank him for all his assistance, and to let him know that like he just said that he was going to write favorably in his report about us. Francesca is certainly going to do the same, not only about him but about the Scintillan Fusiliers as a whole in her report to Vex.
Okay, cool. So what about Medea then? Is there anything specific Medea wants to do, or is she ready to go?
Say bye to the people that she ended up talking with there, because she's a sociable person.
Sure. There's bound to be a few guardsmen she's had some kind of contact with, and of course the Lord General.
And of course, when they're trying to patch her up, she says, "Can I see?" And then watch them as they're actually doing it.
Ew.
It's interesting.
Yes,
she's never seen that.
Yeah, that's true. I've never seen someone patch up my wounds, but I'm not particularly interested in doing so.
It is rather fascinated because it doesn't actually hurt, so there's not the "it hurts" factor in it.
Yeah, we need to have that conversation at some point as well.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that on the boat on the way back.
So, Akalon, you're kind of restricted in what you can do, really, because you're being patched up, and they refuse to let you go anywhere while they install this new bionic arm.
Yes, it's not worth kicking up a fuss, so I'll be fine.
Exactly.
Medea will come and say hi to him several
Yes.
times a day.
Is there anything Prue would like to do? So, you were seconded to the Inquisition. And there was no specific time period. It's basically an open-ended job, as far as you're concerned. So, is there anything so you get the sense that the others are going to go to some other planet named Scintilla? Well, you know that Scintilla is the sector capital. I'm assuming you're going to go with them, but is there anything you would like to do on the Piety of Seth before you leave?
Yes, I think she'll go to the Adeptus Arbites, specifically to the people she was working with before, and have sort of awkward, unemotional goodbye.
That's exactly what it is, because it's not as if there's a lot of warm feelings between you and the arbitrators. I imagine that is very much a practical relationship that you've had.
Quite professional.
Quite professional.
Quite professional.
Indeed. And you've of course performed admirably your duties, but socializing hasn't been a thing, I imagine.
I think she'll primarily have socialized with one man. I'll let you figure out his name, but that would be someone who's done his best to inform her of social conventions. Her handler, so to say.
Her handler. Cool. Well, let's say his name is Timur, and you can do with that whatever you want, but that's his name.
Yes, and since she believed he had taught her something about the appropriateness of saying goodbye, so here she is.
Sure. Well, he of course. Well, he's also. He's grown quite fond of the hounds, as far as one can grow of creatures of steel and.
Well, I assume he's human, so very is probably the answer. It's vaguely animalistic, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, people can bond with their Roombas.
Yeah. It's a very good point.
And fall in love with their little beetle.
Yeah. So so you say goodbyes. You say your goodbyes, and you make ready to leave the piety of Seth.
Yes. Goodbye. Now I need to go back and cut more stuff off Akelon.
Indeed. Sister Francesca, you wait for days to get a chance to send a message through the astropathic choir.
And while I do that, by the way, I've just once again remembered that I also have mighty shots, so I'm including that in my damage codes on my weapons now because I keep forgetting.
I'm going to take that multi-melter away from you. No, I'm not.
Please don't.
No, I'm really.
I like it when she melt people.
It was that multi-melter is the only reason that all of us are still alive. Don't you dare!
It really was that, and a well-timed artillery strike.
Yes.
No, I think Professor could have handled that.
I love.
You get a multi-melter hold in the face. You get a multi-melter blast in the face.
Yep. So eventually, you do get a chance to send a message through the astropathic choir. And what do you tell them to send?
Tell them to send to the Tricorn priority Inquisitor Dex, sub-priority. What's her name? Trina. Yes. Can't remember her last name, but we have that as well. Trina Holster. And then a brief report, and it is brief. It's basically saying arrived at Scintilla. Arrived at the Piety of Seth. Have concluded operations. One fatality. Replacement has been procured. 2 objects acquired. 1 destroyed. Returning to Scintilla at the earliest possible convenience.
Okay, cool. As Sister Francesca knows, of course, there's no guarantee that that message will arrive before you get back to Scintilla anyway.
No.
There's also no guarantee that it'll arrive in the form you've basically outlined here. So that is the nature. It can
be corrupted quite badly along the way, but indeed. This is. It's a chance to take, and she will make sure that she gets that she records what her original message is as she speaks it to the astropathic choir. She will record that so she can document it when she gets back, because she still doesn't trust Trina.
She still doesn't trust Trina. Okay, cool.
Not whatsoever.
Okay, well,
But she's still our handler, so I couldn't leave her out of the
Oh,
message.
I'm so proud of Francesca. She's finally as paranoid as a Neptune.
well. To be fair, Sister Francesca has indicated on multiple occasions that she's quite wary of their fellow agent. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm proud.
So here's the thing: you guys eventually get on a cruiser, and you leave the piety of Seth. Accolon leaves his home world without the chance for a possibly last goodbye. Sad face. And you make your way back toward Scintilla. I think we'll end it there because it seems like a perfect place to end the session.
Aw,
And
no conversation with Prue.
well, you can certainly have that conversation next time because we won't necessarily start up with you guys arriving at Scintilla, so you can have some conversations before we arrive at Scintilla. Also, I think when you guys say your goodbyes to the Lord General, I think it happens in his private quarters over a good vintage of Amasek.
Sure.
Those of you who drink, of
Nice.
course. Well, everyone
nice.
everyone except Accolon because he's still up in getting his arm attached at that point. Well, unless you wait until Accolon is finished before you leave. That's up to you guys, of course. But I imagine that's the scene I imagine as you guys bid your fond farewells to the Lord General, is you guys enjoying a good vintage with him and exchanging war stories and having a pleasant evening of laughter and good company. But that's where we'll end it. Did you get experience points
Nope.
last
We
time?
stopped in the middle of a fight, so we needed XP for 2 sessions.
Right, and since you've basically accomplished part 2 of this campaign, this 3-part campaign, I think we'll give you around 1,000 experience points.
Thank you.
So you have a few experience points to
Suspend.
use, and
That
well,
was part 2 of the 3-part campaign.
yes.
Whoa.
We are quite fast.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going to happen when we're done with part 3, providing we even survive that long.
That's true.
We're not getting a fate point
Let's hope
for
it.
completing that?
Yes, you are.
Lovely.
That's a good.
How does that work?
Well, you
Do
get
we add
another
to our
fate point.
total?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Wait, what?
Thank you very, very much. You get a fate point.
You get a fate point.
But what?
So if you have a total of 3 fate points, you now have a total of 4 fate points.
What? How?
Because we completed a part of the story.
Yes.
But it didn't happen last time we completed a part of the story.
No, but it happens
Yeah.
this session, and
I
the
believe
experience
it did,
points
actually.
you've gotten is for both this session and last session.
Okay. I was just like, what? Wait, what happened? Why?
We've completed part 2, so that,
Yes.
wow.
And we
That's
got
a
1,000.
Yes, you got 1,000 for 2 sessions and ending this second part of a 3-part campaign.
Cool.
Peer military.
How much do we need to get to the second? Or the next
We
part?
need to reach 8,000, I think.
Yeah, it's 8289999. Nice.
So I shall end the recording, and hopefully we'll be back 14 days from now with another episode of Hereticus. Until then, bye.
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 Bye-bye.